Hey folks, good guy Glenn, the Viking Realtor here, and today I'm in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Nothing really interesting going on here today, but I haven't made a video in a while, and I just figured we'd do a little walk and talk, discuss a couple things, and whatnot.
I found this trail maybe 2 years ago, the summer of 2019, I believe, and I haven't really been on this trail in the last 2 years since the pandemic began. Not that I know of, at least. I often come here when I bring my daughter to see her mother and I'm by myself and I'm looking for things to do. I would hike this little trail. It's pretty scenic. It's got like a little pond in the back there, and I thought it would be a great place to do our little walk and talk today.
I guess we'll start off by talking about what's going on with me. My ears are still weird. I wouldn't say they're terrible, but still day to day, sometimes they're clogged. I think a lot of that has to do with allergies at this point, which honestly, this year has been a terrible allergy season. Everyone I know with allergies is suffering very badly this year. It is what it is. I'm not going to stop going outside because it's a bad allergy season. I'm going to continue to do my thing, try to live life and try to be happy. I think it's kind of odd that coinciding with the really bad allergy season, we see people starting to talk about the other thing again, the thing that shall be unnamed on this channel because of YouTube's rules. You gotta live your life. You gotta go out there. You gotta make moves. You only get one time around on this globe, so you might as well be out there enjoying yourself. I mean, you could live in constant fear all your life about everything. About getting on a plane, about car accidents, about anything. You know, you just gotta go out there, you gotta live. And whatever happens, happens. In the Marine Corps, one of the best ways to cope when you're that young and you're dealing with that kind of stress, and this is going to sound morbid and weird, but if you accept the fact that you're already dead, it's okay to go out and do the dangerous things you need to do.
It's when you can embrace death that you really can start living.
I think it's much better to just go out and just try to, you know, accept your fate. I guess faith is part of it. You know, in the Marine Corps, we would say, you know, till Valhalla. And I believe in those things. People think it's silly, but it's what helps some people get by in life. I don't think anyone's beliefs should be, you know, mocked or whatnot, but I think it's perfectly okay, you know, for you to believe what you want to believe. As long as your beliefs don't have to interfere with everyone else's. One of the big reasons why I haven't been able to come out with a video in a while is because a lot of things have gone down since the last video I made, which is probably, adventure-wise, the HorrorCon down in AC. I wanted to make a follow-up video to that, but I've been having some issues with my Jeep. And then, of course, last Saturday, we were supposed to do the Lunar Fair, and that went tragically wrong. So I have no content from that. That is a whole video. I kind of was thinking about doing that today, but since the Lunar Fair can no longer be at Camp Sacagawea, they've been doing it at the Sussex County Faire Grounds. Now, for some reason, the last couple Lunar Fairs they've had a wind problem there. So I went out there with the Spooky Chicks, spookychick.com, for all your spooky fun stuff. A little plug there. I went with them. We set up their new tent that they had, this huge, beautiful black tent. It looked like some sort of circus tent. The tent was staked, it was weighted, and then the wind started. The wind that ended up taking out the tent, as well as all the tents around us, was not normal wind gust. It was definitely what you would call wind shear or a microburst. I know a thing or two when it comes to this. At one point, the wind was blowing, and I grabbed the tent to try to hold it down, and it picked me and the tent up, ripped the stakes out of the ground, didn't care about the 6 weights that we had all around the tent, and took me for a ride about 20 feet. The tent was completely destroyed, as well as the tents of a few other vendors around us. There was a threat of rain, so we picked all the merchandise up off the ground, packed it up, packed it into the cars, and we left. Must be a hell of a lot of bucks around here, because that's a lot of rutting. For those of you who don't live where there's deer, this is what deer do when they're in mating season. The bucks will take their horns, their antlers. When they're in mating season, they'll take their antlers and they'll rut the trees. Some of the trees have got chain link around them, I guess, to protect them. Now, first of all, I know that the people planning Lunar Fair can't control the weather. It's not their fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's the weather. However, how you handle the situation afterward is pretty important. The vendors are what makes the fair. You're having a fair, you want people to have something to do at said fair. So that's where the vendors come in. The vendors and the entertainment, the food, whatever. And that's where I think the promoters of the Lunar Fair kind of dropped the ball. Now, you know me. I've done a few videos at the Lunar Fair. I love going there. I think it's a great event. I highly suggest that people go check it out. That being said, what happened last Saturday, it could have been handled a bit differently. So, I guess basically, to keep the long story short, we wound up having to leave Lunar Fair due to the wind destroying the tent, and we went home. And thinking back, I should have did some video of what happened, but we were just hustling, trying to grab up all the merchandise, get it back into its containers and get it loaded back up into the vehicles, figure out what we were going to do with the tent, and get the heck out of there. So maybe I'll do a video more in depth about the whole Lunar Fair incident. Trail leads out to this beautiful field with a playground, tennis courts, basketball courts, picnic areas, places for people to do stuff, recreational things. It's a Friday afternoon. There's still a lot of people using the tennis courts. I guess they have spring break down here as well. So
I guess in the end, what it really boils down to is YouTube wasn't a priority the day that this all happened. I didn't grab the camera and record the damage and the aftermath because, I don't know, I was just too busy helping other people, helping the people I was with, getting everything packed up, disposing of the tent. It just was like a bad day all in all. I should have gotten more footage, but I just wasn't prepared. But I guess eventually we would go back and, vend the Lunar Fair. I'm not saying I would never go back to the Lunar Fair. I just, as a vendor, I don't think I would ever vend at Sussex County Faire Grounds, being that this happened twice already. And regardless of what people said, a lot of the people who lost their tents were very prepared. The tents were staked. The tents were weighted. This wasn't normal wind. This was like a microburst of some sort. It happened. It is what it is. It's time to move on. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell, so when I drop another video, you get a notification. Once again, this was Good Guy Glenn, the Viking Realtor. Thanks for watching.